a look at why the heater wasn't working. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps I did to make sure that it was working by the time I left. But I also want to link to a very useful video that any homeowner, renter, property manager should use. Certain things are just as simple to fix with a flip of a switch. So check this video out for tips on how to diagnose your heater.
So first thing, most furnaces are going to be very similar in nature. There may be a minor difference there and there though. On this particular unit, the top part is where we're going to have the actual heating elements taking place. And the bottom part is where the motherboard is at. There will be a safety switch nearby as well on your unit. On this particular one, that is over here. Once I turn this off, there will be no power going to the furnace. So that's the first thing I like to do before I even remove any of the panels. Now to open it up. This one in particular has two knobs here. Rotating them counterclockwise will make this top panel removable. Bottom panel has these two nuts here, and I'm going to unscrew them with my drill. Something to note, in this unit, the top panel is over and covering the bottom part. So that's how you secure the bottom part when putting the panels back on. First, by installing the bottom part, then installing the top part. When removing it, we remove the top part first and then remove the bottom part. Okay, I've removed the top panel. I started unscrewing the two screws on the bottom here, and now the last part is just unscrewing these two to expose the actual motherboard. Something to note, I'm not a licensed HVAC technician, and you may not be as well. If that's the case, do not go about touching things in here. But most of what we see here are cables connecting various components together. Before we start, be sure to have your thermostat set high enough so that it will send a signal to the furnace to kick on once we turn on the power. Now notice this push button switch. This ensures that the furnace will not operate unless the bottom cover is on. So I'm going to be pressing that so that we can get the system to start without covering it up. Now it's time to review the 4 cycles that your furnace goes through. I will cover these cycles at a very high level, but check out the below YouTube video for a very great detailed explanation of these phases. In phase 1, I expect this motor to start rotating. Once it's rotating in phase 2, I'm going to check down here and see if there is a pilot flame that turns on right in between here. And once I see that pilot light, phase 3, I will expect to see gas kick in and a lot of flames start being produced. Phase 4 will be for us to listen for the unit to start circulating the air. And that's basically going to take the air coming from the receivers and it's going to force it back and shoot it up through the rest of the house. All right, so now that we're ready to diagnose, let's start by turning on this switch and we'll go see those 4 phases.
Phase 1, motor kicks in. Phase 2, let's keep an eye out for that pilot light. Alright, you see it, that's the pilot. Phase 3, flames. Phase 3, flames. Alright, maybe round 3 is going to be fun. Phase 3, flames. Alright, win business. Phase 4, we hear circulation. Now you see all of them are lit. If I saw any one of them not lit, I'd be concerned. I'd probably be talking to someone and calling someone out here to take a look at that. But as a homeowner, I'm happy with it so far. All right, I just heard something click, and I hear and feel the air flowing. We're good, ladies and gentlemen. As a homeowner or a renter, actually, don't do this if you're a renter. As a homeowner, This gives you confidence that things are working. Oh, you saw that. That's something to keep an eye on, folks. That's no bueno.
Okay, let's recap. We saw the flames kick in earlier. They started sputtering out and then fully went out after a little bit. Now, this could have been due to a draft because the panels are wide open and that could have caused the flames to go out. But just to be safe, while I'm diagnosing this, I'm going to go ahead and check our flame sensor and our flame rod. First, I'm going to remove this connection here. Okay, simple as just pulling it out. You can see how easy that is just to get off.
The top nut here. Make sure I don't lose the screw. And then this part just comes off. It may be hot because I just ran an experiment, so I'm gonna be careful when I look at this.
Here is our flame sensor rod. If the end of this looks dirty to you, clean it using a soft steel wool. Never use sandpaper. This one looks pretty good to me.
So to put it back into the hole, you just put it in, make sure it goes all the way in, align it with the hole like it was before, and screw it in. Not too hard. I'm gonna inspect inside here just to make sure that the rod is in fact looking good. Everything looks good. We are now gonna reconnect our setup here and then just push in. That's it, folks. All right, team, I am now diagnosing the flame sensor. So once the pilot kicks in, the flames go out. There is a rod on the far left one here. That's supposed to be feeling the flame, and it's supposed to be sending a signal to the system saying there is fire. That's okay. If it doesn't get hot enough fast enough, it will turn off because it doesn't want gas to just be running without there being flames going. I am now hearing the fan kick in. Things are looking good. So all I'm gonna do now is close this up now. All right, team, let's do a quick recap. In that video, I actually showed the steps I troubleshooted last night and made sure everything was working. But this time, after a little bit, we saw the flame just cut off. That's because of that light's flame sensor. So after I clean it, again, things started working for the tenant. I told the tenant, keep an eye on it. If the heat comes on and then immediately comes off, it means that something's wrong with that flame sensor. And that flame sensor, the flame rod, could be the rod, could be something electronical. A message for everyone watching. There's only so much. If you don't feel comfortable doing, don't do it. Call a pro. You don't want to do something, not feel confident, not have the right tools, injure yourself, cause damage to the house. Pros are there for a reason. Use them, but also know how to troubleshoot things. I think knowledge is power, and that's why I'm making these videos. Thanks, team.